Good evening, friends. Welcome to the class. This is Sam, and I am going to talk to you about a very important topic today, which is how do you take care of the time part of projects. The biggest problem with projects is that 70% of these projects are behind schedule, right? And if you look at big companies in America, in the Silicon Valley, and you look at Apple, or if you look at Facebook, or if you look at Google, you will find that the major problem is that they're not really able to create their products, new products and services, and sell it as they want in the market. And why does it happen? That's a very, very interesting question that comes in everybody's mind. Well, there are many reasons, but one key component or one problem with that is that they're not really able to create deliverables on time, right? And as we know that projects happen with cross-functional teams, and there's a lot of factors which can go wrong, and there are factors in the environment which can prevent you from achieving your goals within the given timeline and schedule, which creates a major roadblock for successful companies. And I would say, friends, I have talked to many of my clients directly, and I've seen that it has been very difficult for them to really come out with products on time. And what is the connotation of that, or what is the implication of that aspect? The problem is that if you're not able to hit the market on time, you may be irrelevant to the market because your competition is moving faster than you are, and they will create a success before you do. And again, I don't want to name people, but if you look at Samsung's success, is the ability to create products quickly. So when you create products quickly, you have to make sure that the projects you're undertaking to create those products are well managed. The time management part is taken care of. If you read studies from Harvard Business Review or global literature on schedule management and see how should one go about managing time, there's a lot of plethora of literature and studies and research which indicates that there has to be a step-by-step methodology and a process in place to get that done. And think very normally in your life, you and I as individuals, how do we manage our times, right? If the day starts and ends without any planning and you just start your day, you're not going to get anything out of it. So it's your choice if you're just killing time versus utilizing time to achieve. In my life, I don't start my day if I don't have the plan for the day, right? And no matter what happens, I stick to that day. Am I successful 100% of the times? Not really. Am I successful 60-70% of the times? Maybe, right? So the idea is managing time. So now from a PMP perspective, friends, we're talking about how do we manage time efficiently, effectively in our projects. Now if you look here on the board, and if you remember my old classes that we've done, we said managing the triple constraints is one of the key components of project management. Managing scope, time, and cost. So time becomes a very critical factor of success in managing projects. So how do we do that? So as per the latest PMP methodology, 5th edition, which has recently been released, you will see time management has many components. The first one is that the big picture, right? And I would like to draw an umbrella here. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or a bad job. But the idea is, what is our time management philosophy? What is the structure we want to follow in creating work packages within the given time frame? So I will call this as a plan, right? We can call this as a plan to achieve our goals. Having defined that, we need to find out what are the activities we are doing. Now what is that activities team will be building on? So you'll see the team will be working on different parts, right? Different components of work, activities, right? And you might have, for example, in a particular work package 5 activities, right? So if you look at the PMP methodology, the scope was baselined, in which you have the scope statement, the WBS, and a WBS dictionary, which is the detailed description of each WBS item, and it is signed and approved. That becomes a baseline. Now, the smallest part of the scope baseline, we call that as a work package. So what goes on with the work package is that now, when we're trying to talk about time management, we take this work package and break it down into activities. So we said we have 5 activities under the work package. Let's now imagine we are creating an iPhone 6, which is not there in the market yet. And we say for iPhone 6, the deliverable we are going to create is Siri. And let's say Siri has 6 activities to be done. A, B, C, D. And since I said 6, let me add one more here. Let's call it F, right? So now we have these 6 activities to be performed to complete the work package. Now, as per the PMP latest methodology, friends, what you will see is that if I say this takes 3 weeks, this is 4 weeks, this is 5 weeks, this is 2 weeks, and let's say 4 weeks and 5 weeks. So if you just linearly add it up, you will get probably 3, 4, 7, 5, 12, 14, 18, and 5, 23 weeks. So the work package CD would probably take 23 weeks or roughly 6 months to complete. But in reality, there are certain activities you would like to do in parallel. For example, C and D can be done in parallel and you can finish the job early. So what I'm saying indirectly is that there are some dependencies, there are some relationships which can help us save some time. So we'll say, okay, why not we try and do C and D together or in parallel. So friends, you will see here now A, B, C, D, E, F. As a result of doing that, you will find that we are able to save some time because C and D are being done together. So let's say now you're able to save some time and you finish in 21 weeks because some of the parallel activities you decided to do simultaneously. So that is what you're doing, is sequencing the activities. Because the sequencing of the activities gives you a timeline where you can save some time depending on the relationships, depending on the dependencies. Now think about it. For example, if you're working on, let's say, E, if you have one resource working on it versus 3 resources, when do we think we can finish it early? I think if we have more resources, or the resources are smart, in the sense they are more skilled, or they have more knowledge, then you can probably finish it faster. So the third part of time management is resources, type and number of resources that you have will decide how quickly you can get the job done. And then friends, after that what you do is you define the activities, you sequence them, you define the resources. Now next job you will do is you'll say, okay, based on this I come up with the duration of each activity. How? By looking at these activities, their sequencing, and the resources we have to perform those activities. And then you get a duration of each activity, and you say, okay, now let me do what? Let me find out how much time it will take, and then you create the final document, which is the schedule. Now when you're creating a schedule, you're saying, well, here I'm taking probably 19 weeks because I got some smart resources working on this, some more, but my goal is to further reduce it or add some contingencies. So what you're doing is, friends, you are looking at the constraints here, and you will apply different techniques like critical path method, critical chain method, etc. to deal with constraints and risks, and then come up with a timeline of how much time the projects will take. Let's say you come out with a final number 17 weeks to complete this work package series. So having done that, now you start implementing the project. When you're implementing the project, execution is going on. So you want to control the schedule, right? You want to see that for your iPhone 6 project series that you finalized, you had this plan of finishing in 17 weeks. Where are you? So you say, okay, today is the 4th week. How much work has been done? And we'll talk about earned value management to further understand this in the next class on cost management. But this is just to give you an idea of time management in a nutshell. From a PMP 5th edition perspective, time management now has these processes. Number 1, creating a schedule management plan. Number 2, defining activities. What the activities are, define them. Number 3, sequencing activities. Number 4, activity resource requirements. What are the resources you require to perform the activities? Number 5, what is the duration of each activity based on the dependencies and the type of resources you have? Number 6, developing or creating a schedule based on the constraints, applying critical path method, critical chain method, whatever resource leveling, crashing, fast tracking, whatever techniques you can apply to further compress the schedule, and then come out and have that schedule signed and baseline that I am going to finish my project with the help of my team in 17 weeks. And then when you start doing the work, and the work is being executed, you want to control the time, which means control schedule that you finalize. And you see, if I'm in the 4th week, how much work has been done, how much is pending. So that is, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a high level overview of time management.